Hey guys, I'm Tutorial Phil. Welcome back to my channel. This video is another one of my tutorial tips video. This is number 3. And I wanted to talk about Louis Vuitton items. So I'm filming this around the holiday season, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's only meant for gift giving during the holiday season. I wanted to talk about pieces, in my opinion, I would think is a good starter piece if you don't own a Louis Vuitton item yet. And this is more geared towards men's. I'm just going to take you through Louis Vuitton's website and I'm going to go through some of the products I've already picked out. I wanted to do one where all of the products are under $500 because as a starter piece, I don't think you're typically going to spend several $1,000s. This is the first item and I own a version of this. This was introduced maybe less than 2 years ago. This is their PORTE cart. So it's a card holder and it comes in damier graphite, which is one of my favorite prints. There's a version that I own, so this is closer to the one I have, but they've just changed some of the styling a little bit. This is the one I've been using for 5 years now and was one of my first pieces and is still intact. So as a starter piece, this is definitely one that I really recommend. And at $285, I think it's an affordable option for something that you'll use every day. This is the next item. And I'm trying to pick things that are online, that are still in stock online, but I'm noticing today as I'm refreshing these, some of them are actually getting out of stock, unfortunately. But if you have a local store, you might have a better chance finding it there because Louis Vuitton right now is offering complimentary shipping. If you purchase, well, they always pretty much offer complimentary shipping. I think there's a minimum, but this might, during this holiday season, they probably lifted that minimum. And they're saying that if you order by December 20th at 12 p.m. Eastern time, then they'll say you get it by December 23rd, which is Friday, and Christmas is Sunday. So this is a newer item, and this is also newer material. This is the Monogram Eclipse, much more subtle version of the traditional brown version, and I think more masculine too, since this is the same color combination as the damier graphite. And this is pretty similar to the one I just showed you. It's just the layout of the front cards are different. They both have a slot inside, which is the way I use it. I put my bills and I fold it up in there. So I actually use this as my full wallet. This has a matte leather insert on both sides, I believe. Or it could just be on one side. So this one is $290, but they also have it in Tiger leather if you want an all leather version. This is more discreet though. I personally like the Tiger line very much, and they do have the LV initial stamped, but I do feel like if you're getting this as a gift for someone else and they don't have Louis Vuitton items or they don't have a lot, they'll probably prefer the canvas. And I do think the Monogram Eclipse is a really nice update and much more discreet than the brown one, but you still get the very distinguished look of the monogram that people can easily recognize. Next is a passport cover. So this is a little less functional than the previous two that I've shown you because these don't have a lot of pockets inside. It's really meant just to hold your passport, just like the name implies. Some of them do have a few card slots in them. Like this one, it does have 4 credit card slots, and then I think you can probably use the 2 flying pockets as well. The flat pocket should be how you insert your passport so it stays inside. This would be great for someone who travels often. Again, I think the Monogram Eclipse canvas is a nice alternative to the traditional brown one. I do feel like it's more masculine, it's more modern, and it's more discreet if you don't want your product to scream Louis Vuitton. But of course they have it in the classic as well. You really can't go wrong with a timeless design like the brown monogram. And then they recently reintroduced the Utah leather, And then the Tiger leather as well. They're pretty much the same in terms of they're all leather, and the only LV mark you get on the outside is the initials on the bottom right corner. This also comes in the damier, and they still have the Louis Vuitton cup version, the America cup. This is a little bit more sporty, so again, depending on your taste or depending on the taste of the person you're buying this for, this might be a nice touch because it is more unique and they change up the America Cup design every time they introduce it. And this, the price varies a little bit. I believe the intro price is $450. Or actually, so that's for the America Cup. But the starter price for the canvas versions are $320. And then the Tiger leathers are $365, which is not bad. Unfortunately, this one's out of stock. But for an all-leather piece, $365 is not bad at all. So this was actually the first item that I showed you. I think they mixed up the numbers. But this is another type of the card holder. But you may want to double check in store. They may have mixed up the designs. So you just want to be careful that the model number is right. You see here when I click the other version, it changed to the first one that I showed you. Next is a pocket organizer, which I think could be the most practical and functional wallet. I don't have any billfolds in here because I moved from a billfold to a card holder and I've never needed to go back. And honestly, I feel like the bifolds, they're just too bulky and it's too big to put in your pant pockets or even some of your shirt pockets. And you end up ruining the crease if you apply too much pressure. In my opinion, I think getting a pocket organizer or a card holder is just a better way to travel with your cards and your cash, and it limits what you really need to bring. Because honestly, I think over 90% of the time, you really don't need to be carrying all of your cards around. And I know a lot of people carry their store rewards and store loyalty cards, but it seems like they're increasingly becoming digital, so you just need an app. The pocket organizer gets reintroduced just about every season with that season's design. So the one I have now, though, is pretty classic. It's the Monogram Macassar, which is the brown monogram that's paired with their black leather. And again, at $335, it's really not a bad price for a piece that you or the person you gifted to will probably use every single day. And they do hold up pretty well. The Damier Infini leather is a nice mix of luxury where you have the leather, but you also have the tactile feel of the damier, which you don't get with the canvas, because this print is actually pressed into the leather. And the leather, if you haven't felt Damier Infini, is really soft. So the one thing I worry though with Damier Infini, and the reason why I don't own any, is because it could be prone to scratching because the surface is pretty delicate. But they have some of these newer colors which are more space themed. If you look at the color names, this is Orion, then they have Lunar, which is like a medium gray, and then they have orange, which they're calling Comet. And this is a little bit more expensive than the canvas version. This is $455, which is still under $500. The ones that are new from the fall winter collection are all sold out. It's going to be pretty hard to find. So this one is a mix of epi leather plus I don't know what they call this, but this looks kind of like taiga, but it's not actually. It's the leather they usually use for the internal slots. But you get the different colors, which is really nice. And actually I wanted this piece, but unfortunately it was sold out. And then on the back, you get the Monogram Eclipse. So it's a really nice piece with a lot of different materials, but unfortunately this is sold out and it's going to be pretty hard to find. The taiga leather stripe is an updated version of just a plain taiga version. And this one is a bit more expensive again. It's $440 because it is all leather. And I believe the Torion leather it is. So this one's over $500 plus it's out of stock online. They may still have it in store, but this technically passes over the $500 kind of budget that I'm setting for this video. So if you check the inside, they have a nice mix of these open pockets as well as the card slots. And then in the back, there's an additional pocket. The only one thing is the Utah leather one that I just got, the inside layout is different than the other ones. This one, you get a little less of the open card slot, so you just want to be careful of that if you're considering the Utah leather version one. Moving on, this is another card holder, but what's different about this one is that there's a metal clip, and this is pretty much meant for a money clip. So you get a hybrid money clip plus card holder. So in the back, you can slide your paper cash in, and then in front, you can hold your cards. I don't believe there's a middle slot in this one, so you can't carry as much, but for people who like using those metal money clips, this is actually a nice alternative to that. And this one comes in Damier Cobalt, which is exclusive to the men's line. It looks pretty similar to the Damier Graphite, but it has a blue hue to it. And then you can also get it in epi leather as well. It's probably $400. Oh no, it's only $370. So you get epi, and then you get the textured green, and then if this showed a picture of the back, you'll also have the metal clip for this one. This is something. Again, I think it's an alternative piece to someone who may already have a card holder. So this is a small zippy coin purse. The large one is pretty popular. I think it's just called the ZIPPY. But this is the smaller version, and it's under $500. And what's nice about this is you can just use it as a wallet as well. You can fit your cash in there. You can fit your cards in there, because I've tried this on in the store before. But what's nice about it is you can include things in there that could fall out, that's not flat. So obviously coins, as its name. But you can maybe put some keys in there if you don't have a huge key fob. And maybe some other small stuff. You can probably keep a pack of gum. The canvas version is $309, and it is available online. And the alternate all leather version is still under $500. It's $470, and it comes in the two. These are classic tiger colors. You have Glacier, which I really like. I have a couple pieces in Glacier, and then the Ardois is not exactly black. It's like a very smoky dark gray color. Next one is something you may be familiar with. So you can see on the tab it's highlighted in the women's, but this honestly is really a unisex piece. And this silhouette they keep introducing in the men's version as a clutch, because they'll add the bill slots inside of this toiletry bag, but it's really the same silhouette. So since I have this up, you can see it a little larger. The shape, it's a rectangular shape, and then the zipper extends past it, and you get a little leather patch here, which usually is where it says Louis Vuitton Paris, and then where it's made in. And this one, the actual toiletry pouches, it's lined in a synthetic material that's waterproof. The pochettes that I was talking about, so the Pochette Voyage, which I have a couple of in the watercolor from the Chapman collaboration, those are lined in canvas. Plus they have a leather insert which has card slots in them. So those are meant more to be used as a clutch, where you can use as a wallet as well as to store things. This one doesn't have the bill slots or the card slots, but there's no reason why you cannot use this as a clutch to store your everyday essentials when you leave your house. These do sell out pretty fast, and I think Louis Vuitton is trying to curb the stock on these, because I think they're moving more towards the limited pieces and leather pieces, and they're starting to phase out more of these traditional canvas pieces. So if you find one and you like it, you probably should get it, because they may not be around for longer and they may be really hard to find. These come in 3 sizes. So the number corresponds to the centimeter width. So Toiletry Pouch 19 means it's about 19 centimeters on the longest side. So if I go back to this picture, if you measure this, that would be 19 centimeters. I think 15 is a little too small to use as a everyday clutch, so I would recommend the 19. Or the 26, I believe, is the normal version of the Pochette Voyage. But you can double check by using the detailed features, and you can check the other one. So I'm looking at my bags right now, and I'm pretty sure this size is the but I also have the GM, which they don't make in the Toiletry Pouch. So if you want to use this as an everyday clutch, I would recommend the 26. And they usually come in more materials as well. I think it's a little bit more limited online. But like I'm seeing here, unfortunately, even the leather ones, except for this one's unfortunate. This one's over 500, but it's not a bad price if you want to use this as a clutch at $605. But this Epi one does come in 19. It's still unfortunately over 500 though, but not by too much. It's out of stock. But this is a versatile piece. I would recommend if you can get your hands on it. If you want like a small intro piece, I think this would be a good option, and it would be a timeless piece. And if you want, you can actually use it as a toiletry pouch because it is waterproof inside, and it's nice to organize your toiletries when you're traveling, and then you can put this inside your duffel bag or your travel luggage. And these go great with the keep all, of course. Next, now we're gonna move to a few, I think 2 or 3 key holders. They're also a Louis Vuitton staple. So this is the smallest one. This is the 4 key holder. This is pretty inexpensive. It's $205, but the use is pretty limited. You pretty much can only use it for keys. You don't probably want to be putting cards inside of this. And they come in different materials and different colors. These are the colors that are inside. So you can pick the outside, which is monogram, and then you can also choose the interior color, and it's also the color of the button. They also have this in Epi, which is more discreet, and it's only a little bit more expensive at $275, but fortunately it's out of stock online. And then this is just pretty much the same exact design, except it's a 6 key holder. You may be able to get away with putting some receipts or cash in here, but I honestly wouldn't advise using this as your everyday wallet because it really is meant for your keys. The other disadvantage of this style though is that if you have a key fob like for a car, you can't put it in here and then close it. You'll have to rotate one of these outside, and it'll have to dangle outside. This is a zipped up 4 key holder, but you can kind of use this to carry a little bit more stuff. Since there is a zipper, they're less likely to fall out. I'm not 100% sure if this will fit credit cards though, so you may want to ask them if you intend on doing so. So this starts at $250. Like I said, a lot of these pieces are appearing out of stock, so I don't know if it's just the holiday season since I've accessed these that a lot of people are purchasing it, or if Louis Vuitton is trying to phase out their smaller leather goods and smaller canvas goods in favor of the more expensive and exclusive leather pieces. And the leather version is only $310. And here is a bit of a different item. This is the notebook, and it's wrapped with damier graphite canvas, and it has the LV League stickers, which makes it special. So if you're really interested in the LV League look, but maybe you have a hard time getting the other pieces, or you don't want to spend that much to get one of their wallets, because some of them are over $500, then this is something you could consider. I mean, it's a nice display piece. It may not be as practical as a wallet that you'll carry around every day, but I own the scarf version of this, and I really like the look of it. And this one's actually on the damier graphite, whereas the scarf is just on a black and gray background. And at $185, it's expensive for a notebook, but it's not too bad for an LV piece. And this is the scarf that I actually got last month in my Asia trip. So this is the College LV League scarf. It doesn't have the damier graphite like the notebook, but it has the gray and black background, and it has the stickers, which I think is a really nice contrast to the black background, and I just really love the graphic effect of it. This one is harder to find though. I mean, it's sold out online, and even at the stores, I heard it's been troublesome to get it. So you could try calling the client services online here at 1-866 Vuitton, or you can contact your local SA to see if it's possible for them to bring it in. If you haven't worked with them though, it might be harder for them just to order one in for you if there is one in the country. But it's still worth a shot if you do really like this, because at $410 it's really not that bad, and it is under the $500 product selection limit in this video. So that's not too bad for a Louis Vuitton scarf. The top two items I recommend is the pocket organizer and then also the card holder, which I own the older version of. So this is the Neo version. And it's pieces that I would use every day, and I do use every day, and it's pretty much stood the test of time. And the starting price isn't too bad for it. This is only $285 for the canvas, and I believe the pocket organizer was in the low 300s, like $320 for the starting price for a canvas piece. So thank you for watching my video. I hope you found this useful. I would be really interested to know if you did end up purchasing any of these items, and if it was for yourself or as a gift, and any other suggestions I would be interested in hearing them. Subscribe for more videos and check me out on Instagram for the most updated content and exclusive things as well. I usually try to update my story pretty frequently, like on a daily basis. So again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.